Sant Teja Singh and the Sikh awakening in North America. Sant Teja Singh, earlier named Naranjan Singh, was born on May 14, 1877 in a Khatri family, at the village of Balovali, in Gujranwala district of the Punjab. Teja Singh completed his schooling at Fazilka, and then went to Lahore where he received his master's degree in English literature in 1900, from Punjab University. Studying at Government College Lahore, he also took the law degree. His first appointment was as headmaster of the Anglo-Sanskrit High School located in Beira. He was vice principal of the Khalsa College at Amritsar, when he received the Sikh rites of initiation at the hands of Sant Adar Singh of Mastuana, in 1906, receiving the name of Teja Singh. Sant Adar Singh sent him abroad, along with 4 other young Sikhs for higher studies. He also entrusted him with the responsibility of building Sikh Gurdwaras abroad. In August 1906, Teja Singh joined the University College London, but left it without completing the course, to join the Teachers College at Columbia University, in New York City, USA, to train as a teacher. Here he met hundreds of migrant workers from his community. Sikhs living in Canada and America had confidence in their ability and inherent capacity to do twice the amount of work any other farmhand or laborer could do. They were noted for their hard work and industry in lumber mills, sawmills, and mines. As Kartar Singh Nawachand, a Canadian lumber mill employee observes, quote, "One Singh could handle a job that took 5 white labourers to cope with." Where horse-drawn carriages were used to transport heavy loads of timber and logs, Singhs preferred to drag the long logs with their own hands. Our manager was immensely pleased with the work capacity of the Singhs. He told Bhai Arjun Singh Malik that he would like to employ up to 200 Punjabis. Unquote. This inevitably led to economic competition with white labourers, and the authorities generally sympathized with them. Anti-Asian lobbies in Canada and the United States were already fiercely opposed to Chinese and Japanese immigration, and they mounted a vigorous campaign against Punjabis and other South Asians. As a consequence, Canada stopped immigration from India in 1908, and the United States followed suit in 1910. In the winter of 1908, the Canadian government developed the British Honduras Scheme, a plan to transport all South Asian immigrants from British Columbia to British Honduras, a colony in the Caribbean. The man behind this scheme was the immigration officer, William C. Hopkinson, who would later set up a spy network to monitor the activities of Sikhs in Canada, cause dissension among them, and even initiate murders. Under Sant Teja Singh's tutelage, the Sikh community in British Columbia collected at their local Gurdwara, and refused to leave their homes as demanded by Hopkinson. To strengthen Sikhs economically, Sant Teja Singh visited a barrister and registered the Guru Nanak Mining and Trust Company in December 1908. The organization had 251 members, and a board of directors of the leading Sikhs of the time. The goals of the trust were to look after the economic welfare of Sikhs by investing in businesses, real estate, and farms. Sikhs bought a quarter of the shares in Mr. Crawford's gold mine. Many Sikhs became investors and shareholders in the trust, and the authorities' plans to send low-paid Indians out of Canada failed. From Columbia, Teja Singh transferred to Harvard, when he got his AM in 1911. Along with his academic work, Teja Singh had continued preaching the gospel of Guru Nanak. Teja Singh, along with Bhai Wariam Singh, Bhai Balwant Singh Kurdpur, and Bhai Hari Singh, visited Victoria, the capital city of Canada, to reform Sikhs who had made drinking their favourite habit. At one location, they found 30 Sikhs drinking liquor, and decided to stop there with them. In the evening after taking their meals, they went to sleep. Professor Teja Singh writes, at 3 o'clock the next morning, Amrit Vela, the Sangat woke up to do their nitname, morning prayers. Then the Guru Granth Sahib was opened, and Asa Devar Kirtan began. After Kirtan, I was instructed to deliver a religious discourse. The 30 men were now sober. Listening to Guru Bani, these demons were turned into angels. With the Shabad as my guide, I made an appeal to them: we have come to this foreign country to spread the message of the 10th Guru, and not to set a bad example of ourselves. Come, let's give up alcohol for the 10th Guru's Amrit of the double-edged sword, and make our lives fruitful. 15 to 20 of them were ready to take Amrit. 5 Singhs prepared Amrit in an iron bowl, and the Jothadar administered it to them. Teja Singh gave his sermon and prepared them to be true Sikhs. They got ready to build a Gurdwara, and promised to contribute 1 month of their pay right away. They formed a committee, and purchased some land for the Gurdwara through a property agent, Robert William Clark. Lectures on the Sikh faith were also given on the request of Mr. Clark's wife. Mr. and Mrs. W. Hall, and some other Canadians became regular visitors of the Gurdwara. The Sikh Jatha then left for Seattle. After delivering a lecture to students, it moved on to Portland. The Jatha stayed at a lumber yard which had 1 room reserved for the Guru Granth Sahib. Within a week, dozens of Sikhs took Amrit and became Khalsa. On Bhai Partap Singh's request, the Jatha reached California. After a few days of satsang, community prayers, many Sikhs took Amrit here as well. On their way back to Vancouver, they were informed of a Sikh Jatha from the Jalandhar Doaba, working in nearby fields. Teja Singh writes, Bhai Balwant Singh was reverently holding the Guru Granth Sahib in a beautiful basket. When we reached the spot, we saw some beloved Sikhs working in the fields. On seeing us, one of them mockingly remarked, "Look at those street entertainers." Hearing this, the Jatha turned back, but I told my Jatha to have patience and keep moving forward. We got to their dera. At night the beloved Sikhs served us with kind hearts, and the next day, satsang or community prayers was held. No one took Amrit on the first day, but the next day lots of them took Amrit. Unquote. See Sant Teja Singh, The Real Story of the Ghadar Movement, Part 1, Punjabi edition, by Rajwinder Singh Rahi. In 1912, Professor Teja Singh visited California, and was instrumental in laying the foundations of a Gurdwara in Stockton. The key figures who were organizing Sikhs, and other South Asians for the independence struggle here, were Baba Jawala Singh, Baba Vasakha Singh, Bhai Santokh Singh, Bhai Harzara Singh, and Bhai Nod Singh. If one were to read just a sample of Baba Vasakha Singh's poems, they would clearly see the relevance of the Sikh faith in mobilizing Sikhs for the independence struggle. Quote. Devotional hymns were sung in a lovelorn manner. Amrit was blessed to the Singhs. Come, let's serve our country together. Bharat has been oppressed by fiends. Unquote. And in another poem, Baba Vasakha Singh writes, quote, when we bought a building in Stockton, the Guru Granth was taken to the site. Guru Sahib was installed with honour. The Sikh flag fluttered high in the sky. The Sangat was filled with love in their hearts. Langar was distributed in abundance. Dholki and musical instruments were played. Singh sat there absorbed in the Shabad. Bola Singh took the place of Granthi. Teja Singh from Canada was by our side, delivering a marvellous lecture to the Sangat. He apprised the Singhs of their rights. Unquote. Professor Teja Singh adds. In this way, an Akali flag was also hoisted in America, according to the wishes of Sant Adar Singh Ji Maharaj. By Parmanand Jhansi, a life-term convict in the Ghadar conspiracy, observes. In my view, it was chiefly the religious emblems, kakars, worn by Sikhs that led them to wage a war against the British. The emblems insulated them from the influences of American and British societies. By protecting their religious symbols, they saved themselves from apostasy." Unquote. End of Part 1. Shahid-e-Azam Kartar Singh Sarabha. By Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna. Kartar Singh Sarabha was barely 17 years old when the Indians in America developed a strong consciousness against their enslavement by the British. The Ghadar party organized this sentiment into an unrelenting war against the British. Kartar Singh had passed his matriculation before leaving India. He had a revolutionary temperament from his very childhood. A study of his life at school shows that he thought very differently from his classmates. He led his class fellows in sports. He organized school children against the wrongful acts of the teachers. In 1912 he landed at the port of San Francisco in California, and joined many of his compatriots in taking up work in the countryside of California, as a farm laborer. There he came face to face with the exploitative attitude of the American farmers, and the scorn of the average American worker for Indians. He soon realized that slavery was the biggest curse heaved upon a nation. He exchanged views with his countrymen. The scornful attitude of Americans had opened the eyes of Indians, who could no longer tolerate satirical vibes addressed to them. Kartar Singh came across many other Indians who shared his views. He collected them together and organized a meeting, in which Lala Hardale, Pandit Jagat Ram, Bhai Jawala Singh and many Indian students and workers participated. They deliberated on the causes of continued enslavement of India. It was felt that a very strong organization was necessary to lead and carry on the battle for liberation. This meeting of minds was a prelude to the creation of the organization, but it could not carry out any agenda on its own. During this period, Indian workers in the factories of Oregon and Washington states had raised their levels of consciousness to a height where they were capable of laying the foundations of an organization. The Ghadar Party was founded in March 1913 in Astoria, in the state of Oregon. Kartar Singh was beside himself with joy on hearing the news of the launching of the organization. He joined the party immediately. The Ghadar newspaper, which made its appearance on 1 November 1913, owed a lot to his efforts. The newspaper was printed on a hand-operated machine, and Kartar Singh not only wrote the Punjabi text but also operated the machine. With the increase of work, many other comrades came to the headquarters. Kartar Singh was ever eager to lend his helping hand to everyone. He tried to keep all in good humor. Like a true revolutionary, he had completely overcome his ego, and had dedicated his life in the service of the country. The Ghadar Party was initially formed by representatives of Oregon and Washington. Californian comrades joined later on. Kartar Singh Sarabha was catalytic in bringing the Californians also into the fold of the party. A conference of representatives of Oregon, Washington, and California was held at Stockton in California in February 1914, which resulted in the formal representation of California in the Ghadar Party. This influx gave added vigor to the Ghadar movement, and the party gained tremendous strength. I took Bhai Bhagat Singh, alias Gandha Singh, and Bhai Kartar Singh with me, and worked in the villages of California. They were familiar with California and knew where Indians could be contacted. From mornings right through into the evenings, we went from place to place organizing Indians. We walked through marshy areas, over small streams where it was difficult to walk. We worked all day. When our clothes were dirty or we needed rest, we stopped at Baba Wasakha Singh's and Bhai Jawala Singh's house, and washed our clothes. These Guru Mukhs welcomed every patriot to their home. Sant Teja Singh had also stayed at their place for some time. See Mary Ram Kahani, by Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna. Then, the Kamagata Maru incident occurred. A Japanese steamship carrying 376 passengers, mostly Sikh, was not allowed to dock at Vancouver. It remained in Canadian waters for 3 months. The passengers were given 24 hours to beat a retreat. If they did not comply with the order, the ship and its passengers would be blown up. When the Navy made this announcement, the Indian passengers sang the following verse from Guru Gobind Singh's hymns. Great are those souls in this world, on whose lips is ever the name of God, and who in their hearts ever contemplate fighting the battle of life. Their body is a fleeting frame that will not last forever. On the boat of His name, the Word, they cross the fearful ocean of life. Their intellect is aflame with the light of wisdom. Their discriminative mind handles the broomstick of knowledge in such a way, that with it they sweep all cowardice, all falsehood, out of their inner selves. Only such a one can rightly wear and handle the sword, and be his true saint's soldier. The passengers sang these hymns with intense devotion and fervor. Indians living in Canada declared open war on the government, and threatened to set Vancouver on fire if the ship was attacked. Sikh Jathas were formed and sent to different locations in Vancouver, so that as soon as the first shell fell on the ship, the city would be set ablaze. Every Indian possessed weapons to offer resistance to the whites. Lakhs of white people, young and old alike, witnessed the scenes and were waiting to see what drama would unfold. When the time was up and the ship still didn't move, the Navy had to retreat. Finally, the authorities entered into talks with Bhai Gurjit Singh, through the Vancouver Gurdwara Committee. It was agreed that the government would pay for damages, and provide food supplies for the passengers on their return journey to India. See Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna, Mary Ram Kahani. As soon as the First World War started, a war council was held by Indians in Sacramento, to raise the banner of revolt against the British. Kartar Singh played a key role, and when the party asked for volunteers to learn flying, he was the first to offer his name, and was selected for the job. After 2 days of retreat at Stockton Gurdwara, I took Bhai Bhagwan Singh, and Molvi Berkatullah with me to the Ghadar office in San Francisco. I had only been there for 4 days, when Bhai Kartar Singh arrived with the wonderful news, that he had learnt how to fly a plane. See Mary Ram Kahani. When the party decided to ask its members to leave for India to work for the revolution, Kartar Singh was in the first batch who boarded the ship for India. Before leaving for India, I gave Kartar Singh and Bhai Bhagwan Singh the responsibility of procuring firearms. In just a few days, Kartar Singh managed to get hold of 200 pistols and 2,000 rounds of ammunition, and reserved a room for me on another ship. He loaded the boxes of revolvers and ammunition onto the ship, an hour before it was scheduled to leave. Then he left for India. He did not come alone, but brought along 3 American revolutionaries who were his friends. 2 of them were men and 1 was a woman. He was adept in adopting disguises. He entered India through Colombo, and evaded the eagle eyes of the police, and reached India where he engaged himself in revolutionary work. I was arrested on entering India, and brought to Ludhiana in Punjab for interrogation. Then one day, I was being escorted by a posse of policemen to the Ludhiana train station in a buggy, when Kartar Singh suddenly showed up on his bicycle to my rear. He was always ahead of everyone in taking risks. He fearlessly entered army barracks and incited soldiers to revolt. Soldiers were so animated by his courage that they would immediately agree to join the freedom struggle. I told Kartar Singh Sarabha that I was being sent to Multan district jail, and that he should leave immediately, and win the support of local leaders on the occasion of Diwali. See Mary Ram Kahani. He met Sajinder Nath Sanyal, and Rash Bihari Bose through Mr. Pinglay. He moved about freely outside Punjab in the company of Pinglay and Sanyal. He would enter the army establishments very casually, and propagate rebellion. In Punjab, he travelled hundreds of miles on his bicycle to various garrisons. He was successful in converting the sepoys of Ferozpur, for the purpose of rampaging the magazine. On the advice of Rash Bihari Bose, an incitement of Nawab Khan, he agreed to committing dacoities. And thereafter, there was no such action in which he did not participate. Even while committing dacoities, he was forthright in speaking of his mission. He would tell the affected, that since there was no other source of money and it was necessary to throw out the British, they were compelled to do such acts, and he promised that after liberation, all the money now looted, would be returned with interest. He had exemplary moral character. During the dacoity at Sunawal, a member of the gang cast an evil eye on a beautiful girl. Sarabha immediately placed his revolver on the chest of the culprit, and forced him to offer apology for his conduct. He gave the slip to the police many a time. Once he went to the house of a friend on bicycle. He found the police searching the house. He was well dressed at the time. He told the police that they must be rigorous in performing their duty, and give anti-government elements a proper treatment. Police thought him to be a young government employee. He talked to them for some 10 to 15 minutes and left the scene. Later, when the policemen faced him in the court, they felt extremely humiliated, and the judge and audience had a hearty laugh. After the failure of the revolution, the members who had escaped arrest, decided to leave India. Kartar Singh, Harnam Singh Tundalat, Jagat Singh etc., were asked to go to Afghanistan, and they set off in that direction. But his conscience did not permit him to run away, when all his comrades had been held. He came back with 2 friends, and went over to Chowk No. 5 in Sargodha, where there was a military stud, and started propagating rebellion amongst the soldiers. A cavalryman got him and his friends arrested. CID officers like Mr. Tomkin were rather afraid of interrogating him. He was a fearless and unrelenting young man, devoted to the cause of independence, and a sworn enemy of slavery. When he was under trial in Lahore Central Jail, he made an abortive attempt to escape. He was caught with a cutting saw, and other cutting instruments, and bomb-making material. But he was as self-assured as ever. He continued to laugh, and make others laugh. He would draw tunes by striking at his fetters, and go on singing patriotic songs. When the case came to be heard, we saw simultaneously 2 courts. The judges held their court, and Sarabha held his court joking and laughing away with his friends. The moles and prosecution witnesses were the butt of his humor. The judges would ring their bells, but no one would pay any attention to them. After the prosecution witnesses had been examined, Kartar Singh Sarabha was asked to make his statement. He accepted his role in the movement, and proudly proclaimed that whatever he did with a sense of responsibility. He considered it his duty to rouse the people against British slavery. And his calling the army to rebel, preparing national flags, and performing other revolutionary acts, were towards the fulfillment of his inalienable birthright, to see India independent and free. On recording his evidence, the judges remarked, "Kartar Singh, do you know where your confession is going to lead you to?" Kartar Singh replied that he knew his fate. He could be hanged or transported for life. The judge gave him time, and asked him to think overnight. The next day again, Kartar Singh stuck to his statement, and told the judges that he stood by every word he had said earlier. When the sentence of death was pronounced on Kartar Singh, he laughed and said in a loud voice, "Thank you." After the pronouncement of the death sentence, Kartar Singh and his friends were sent to the condemned cells, and were dressed in the uniform of condemned prisoners. The jail superintendent went to him. In pursuance of legal stipulations, he asked Kartar Singh if he wanted to make a mercy petition. Kartar Singh replied that he was not interested in a mercy petition, but requested for an early execution of the sentence, so that he could take rebirth, and fight against slavery again. On November 16, 1915, the government decision to commute the death sentences of 17 other Ghadarites, to transportation for life was communicated, but Kartar Singh and 6 of his comrades were still condemned to be hanged. He was again asked to make a mercy petition, but his reply was the same: execute the sentence immediately. Kartar Singh had lost his father and mother in early childhood. His old grandfather had brought him up. When he came for the last meeting with Kartar Singh, he started weeping. Kartar Singh addressed him, "Grandfather ji, why do you weep? I am not leaving after causing any disgrace to the family. I am being hanged for the crime of working for the liberation of 300 million suppressed and enslaved people. You should not weep over such a glorious death, but celebrate it." The grandfather was overwhelmed by these courageous words coming from the lips of Kartar Singh, and gave him his last blessing. Kartar Singh and 6 of his comrades were hanged to death in Lahore Central Jail on the morning of November 16, 1915. A lot has been said and written about this martyrdom. Kartar Singh put the noose around his neck himself and laughed away death, and immortalized himself. In the short span of life he spent on this earth, and in spite of his youth and lack of experience, Kartar Singh sacrificed his life in the cause of the liberation of humanity at large, and his countrymen in particular. He has very few peers in the annals of world history. The end. Written by Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna. End of Part 2. Bhagat Singh pays tribute to the Ghadarites. Excerpts from the Hindi Monthly, Chand, November 1928. Quote: Zaildar Chanda Singh, of Nangal Kalan in Hoshiarpur, had got a Ghadar party activist, Bhai Pyara Singh arrested. Bhai Banta Singh decided to take his comrades along and punish these traitors. He took Bhai Bhutar Singh and Bhai Jawan Singh with him, and killed Chanda Singh in his house. Then he got down to action. He destroyed a bridge, in Amritsar district, using dynamite. After that, there were many encounters with the police, but he was such a terror that the policemen used to run away, and try to hide themselves the moment they spotted him. Once, the cavalry police gave him a chase. He kept running for 60 miles in front of them. The readers would think this to be somewhat implausible, but they should keep in mind that these activists from the American Ghadar Party were quite extraordinary. Nothing is impossible for adventurous people. On June 25, 1915, he was apprehended in Hoshiarpur's Jora village. On July 27, 1915, the court convicted Banta Singh for killing informer Chanda Singh, and the murder of 2 policemen at Wala Railway Bridge Amritsar. He joyfully kissed the gallows on August 12, 1915. See Bhagat Singh, Chand, The Gallows Issue, November 1928. Dr. Arur Singh Sahib was born in a village called Sangawal, in the Jalandhar district. The martyr Banta Singh also belonged to this town, and both of them worked together. They were especially gifted in ferreting out information, and in spying activities. They often went to the police station and managed to get information even from there. Singh could walk more than 40 miles without tiring. His full black beard and prominent eyes made him an awe-inspiring personality. But he was a very gentle soul. He led a very simple life. He did not like to live and work outside Punjab, so much so, that even when the police was searching high and low for him, he continued to move from village to village in Punjab, disseminating his message, and narrowly escaping arrest several times. In collaboration with Banta Singh, he tampered with the railway lines, and cut telephone wires near Suranasi railway station. He learnt bomb-making from Jawan Singh. During this period, he killed 1 government informer and 7 policemen. On November 2, 1916, he went to meet a friend of his in Lahore jail, where he was immediately recognized and apprehended. Tried in the 3rd Lahore conspiracy case of 1916, he was on January 4, 1917, sentenced to death with forfeiture of property, and was hanged shortly thereafter. During his trial he refused to defend himself, rather he openly confessed to his revolutionary activities. See Bhagat Singh, Chand, The Gallows Issue, November 1928. Tribute to Bhai Nadan Singh Chugha, by Byron Deer Singh. Excerpt taken from the jail letters of Byron Deer Singh. Quote: The patriots of the 1914–1915 movement suffered and served the country, keeping only the selfless service of the motherland in view. They did not have the slightest thought of cheap publicity, and never even in their dreams had any ambition of personal glory. You must be knowing that in our times, 1914–15, few and rare souls felt inspired to dedicate their lives to the cause of freedom. In the Punjab, only a few Sikhs who could be counted on fingertips, and were politically awake, felt the patriotic fervor to fight for freedom. There was a great feeling of political opposition to the heroic Ghadar leaders and patriots, who had come from Canada and America. Every child in the Punjab was opposed to them. I will give you only one example of the moral courage of the great patriot of those days. Bhai Nadan Singh of Chugha village was a great patriot and fighter for freedom, who inspired hundreds of Indians living in foreign countries to come to India, and dedicate their lives to the freedom struggle. He spent thousands of rupees from his own pocket for the freedom struggle. And yet he did not disguise himself. He came openly by sea, but the government at once made elaborate arrangements to arrest him. He reached India along with his companions without being detected. He could not be arrested. He came to the Punjab and threw himself heart and soul in the freedom struggle. His heroic deeds for the cause of freedom must be known to you. Warrants for his arrest had been issued. His photograph was widely publicized, and a price was put on his head. There was an all-out attempt to arrest him. He moved swiftly from one place to another organizing the freedom struggle. There was no sympathy and support for these freedom fighters in the public. The patriots depended mostly on Bhai Nadan Singh for organization and inspiration. Of course, in fearlessness, there was none so daring as Kartar Singh Sarabha. One day Kartar Singh Sarabha feared that Bhai Nadan Singh may be arrested. He was the key figure among the freedom fighters, and it was necessary that he should not be arrested anytime soon. Keeping only the political interest in view, he suggested to Bhai Nadan Singh that he should dye his beard, and thus change his publicized appearance to some extent. Bhai Nadan Singh boldly answered that he would never do such a thing and tarnish and disgrace his heroism in the freedom fight. You can use me as best as you like with this appearance only, but do not make any suggestions which would make me a coward, he said. His companions wanted him to fall a prey to their evil suggestions, but his determination remained unshaken. For organizing the freedom struggle, he traveled 20 to 30 miles a day, and sometimes fearlessly passed close by police posts. He performed such heroic deeds compared to which your plans were insignificant. He did not even agree to change the color of his beard, while you, Bhagat Singh, went to the extent of removing your hair and beard. Unquote. See Autobiography of Byron Deer Singh. End of Part 3. Letter to an Uncle. By Kartar Singh Sarabha. Dear beloved uncle. Sat Sri Akal. I received your letter, read it, and pondered over it carefully. I, Kartar Singh, humbly obey your commands and thank you for your suggestions. But as a patriot it pains me to have to ask you one or two questions of my own. I am hopeful that you will only answer my questions after careful deliberation. It is not sensible to respond impetuously. I would first like to ask whether you read the news articles I sent you, before consigning them to the flames, or whether you burnt them unread. In my estimation, any true son of Mother India, who has read Ghadar's balance sheet of British rule in India, and evidence of statistics, would refrain from burning these papers. Those who burn the Ghadar newspaper are enemies of the country. The person burning the newspaper can't see that our helpless countrymen are walking barefoot on burning hot sand. He does not realize whose salt he is eating, where loyalty should lie, or what he is doing. The truth is that such a person is simply blind and ignorant of the facts. He does not know that from the 18th century onwards, there have been 35 famines in India. From 1895 to 1910, 80 lakh Indians have died from plague. India's poor folk have rightly said, "How can someone else comprehend one's own suffering?" Beloved uncle, you are intoxicated with your life. You can't even tell whether you are being loyal or disloyal to your master's salt. You've asked me to be loyal to the emperor. Now I would like to ask you, was this salt made for the emperor's mother? Tell me, are the British and their loyal supporters being loyal or disloyal? You don't even know whose salt you are eating. Was this salt meant for Queen Victoria's consumption, or was it produced by India's poor labourers? Well done! How loyal of you! You don't even know what it means to be honest and sincere. What is our faith, our dharma, and who are we? Allow me to tell you if you are not sure. Beloved uncle, you are a Singh. It is your religious duty, your dharma, to protect the poor. To sacrifice your life for your nation is your obligation. If you are a lover of your salt, you should become a Sikh like Guru Ram Singh, and a Sikh disciple of Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj, and become a martyr. Your places of worship are being desecrated. Your native educational institutions are being erased. Come. Let's lay down our lives for their sake. From the tax revenue exacted from the poor, your emperor throws a bone at you, treating you like his dog, while filling up his own safe in England with enormous wealth. So do consider this, stop licking on a bone, and serve the poor instead. Only he who serves the poor is a real man. Bhagat Kabir says. He alone is known as a spiritual hero, who fights in defense of religion. He may be cut apart, piece by piece, but he never leaves the field of battle. The British have spared no effort to ruin our country. Carefully think this through. Don't strangle the nation for a few silver coins. You should read the newspaper and contemplate what you read. Nothing written is unqualified. If you think the Ghadarites are lying, then listen to what other nations around the world have to say. I will send you a book authored by the Secretary of State for America. Read it and think deeply about what it says. If your emperor was your true guardian, he would not prevent our pamphlets from reaching India. I have not been misled by anyone to walk on this path. American universities have taught me that our country is being robbed, and it is our duty to stop this loot. To sell your country for employment is against the principles of both religion and ethics, it's unprincipled. American universities have taught me the lofty ideals of freedom, and the principles of the Sikh Dharma, best personified by Guru Gobind Singh, who leading by example, taught me how to sacrifice my all. Thus, I will not back 1 inch from my pious cause. I feel that my words are too harsh. But they are harsh because you have consigned a newspaper written with the blood, sweat, and money of many poor working people, to the flames. Whether you decide to continue our correspondence or not, I shall continue serving my Dharma and my principles unhesitatingly. It is futile to say any more. Your servant. Kartar Singh. Kartar Singh Sarabha's letter to his uncle Dr. Veer Singh, Sub-Assistant Surgeon, British Indian Army. Published by Dr. Gurdev Singh Sidhu, in the Punjabi Tribune, 2018. In an article published on March 15, 1916, the Ghadar Party of America stated its aims to be the establishment of a confederated republic like Switzerland. Quote, 3 ethno-linguistic groups make up the population of Switzerland. They are German, Italian, and French. 3 national languages are spoken, and the citizens have diverse religious traditions. They are represented by cantonal and communal parliaments." Unquote. See by Ajmer Singh, who were the Ghadari Babas. In his History of the Ghadar Movement, Jaspal Singh writes, "The Ghadar party envisioned a United States of India, as a federation of all the nations, nationalities, and tribal people of Hindustan. This aim could be achieved only by an armed revolution. Every member of the Ghadar party was declared to be honor and duty bound to participate in the fight against slavery, carried on anywhere in the world." End of Part 4. Extracts from Mary Ram Kahani by Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna. Baba Sohan Singh, as president of the Ghadar leadership, sailed to India in the SS Nam Sang, at the outbreak of war, in the wake of the Kamagata Maru incident, to organize and direct the rebellion from India. Other revolutionaries came by the Tosa Maru ship. On reaching the Yokohama port in Japan, Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna met friends who helped him get past customs with the box of munitions he was carrying, for £10. For another £2, the customs storekeeper let him keep the box safe in the customs office. His friends then drove him to a hotel. He stayed at the hotel for 8 days, before receiving the news that the Kamagata Maru ship had arrived. He met Baba Gurdit Singh, and apprised him about their activities. Gurdit Singh promised to help in every way he could. Baba Sohan Singh's next duty was to have a meeting with the German councillor. But a close watch on German activities during the war made this very difficult. He managed, however, to have a secret meeting with him, and was given assurance that the German government would help. The next day, Baba Sohan Singh left Yokohama with the box of pistols and munitions. Sohan Singh Bhakna, who was the first to leave America, found Kartar Singh Sarabha waiting for him at the next port in Kobe. Here he had another meeting with Baba Gurdit Singh. It was decided to contact Indians in Shanghai, Hong Kong, China, Malaya, and Singapore, on their way back to India. Baba Sohan Singh was also armed with letters from Bhai Bhagwan Singh, to give to Indians in these locations. When Sohan Singh boarded the ship for Shanghai, a suspicious-looking European got onto the ship and stood next to him. Sohan Singh moved away from him. The man got off and went away in a boat. Baba Sohan Singh paid $1 to a Japanese waiter to find out who the man was. He promised to pay more if he came back with information. The waiter asked one of the officials at the port, and came back to tell him that it was the British councillor. Just as Baba Sohan Singh had suspected, spies were trailing him. When the ship left the dock, he went to his cabin, and memorized all of the names on the letters, given to him by Bhagwan Singh, and noted down the initials. He read the letters and then threw them into the sea. All that remained now was the box of pistols. Baba Sohan Singh paid the same waiter £5, to deliver the box to the given address in Shanghai. He agreed. The box was delivered to Baba Sohan Singh at his hotel room. Baba Sohan Singh met Sikhs at the Shanghai Gurdwara, and gave them an account of the Kamagata Maru incident. He met Bhai Gujar Singh, Bhai Mullah Singh, and Bhai Jawan Singh, all activists of the Ghadar party. They, along with many others, were ready to return to India. They also carried pistols with them. When this batch of revolutionaries led by Sohan Singh Bhakna reached Hong Kong, the ship was searched by police, but no weapons were found. Next, Baba Sohan Singh met all of those activists whose names were on the letters given to him by Bhagwan Singh. He met his old friend, Bhai Kher Singh, at the Gurdwara, and met Bhai Hira Singh one night, but revealed little to the latter, because he hadn't met him before. He met Dr. Mathura Singh, leader of the Hong Kong Ghadar party, who informed him that a British Indian infantry unit was going to India via Hong Kong. One of the soldiers was a Sikh he had contact with. The box of pistols could be handed to him and then collected in India. Everything went according to plan. The infantry unit left Hong Kong with the pistols, just as Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna and his batch left on another ship. They arrived together at Singapore, and reached Penang at the same time. But to their misfortune, the ship full of infantry troops was ordered to leave for France, not India. The box of pistols was gone with the ship. See Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna, Mary Ram Kahani. At Penang Ghadar, Baba Bhakna recounts. In 1914, I met a saintly preacher at Penang Ghadar, whose love had a profound impact on me. His name was Bhai Prem Singh. As his name suggests, Prem literally means love. He possessed an abundance of love. He was extremely warm and unprejudiced when dealing with visitors, and provided all sorts of comforts to them. Besides providing comfort to visitors, these Gurdwaras kept Sikhs versed in the Sikh religion and the Sikh way of life. They were also helpful in organizing the community. Sikh Jathe Bandis were organized at these Gurdwaras on religious occasions. Baba Sohan Singh Bhakna, Mary Ram Kahani. End of Part 4. Ghadar operations in Punjab. Since their arrival in Punjab, the returnees had been addressing gatherings at fairs and festivals in Sikh holy places, including Taran Taran, on November 17, Amritsar, on Diwali, and Nankana Sahib, the birthplace of Guru Nanak. They openly exhorted people to rise in rebellion against their British rulers, in such violent language, that peasants lost their nerve, in the face of mass arrests of returned emigrants. The first meeting took place at Nanak Singh's Chubara, in Amritsar district, on the occasion of Diwali. Bhai Gujar Singh Bhakna, Bhai Pyara Singh Lungiri, Bhai Harnam Singh Sial Koti, and Dr. Mathra Singh were present at this meeting. At another meeting in Kasa, Amritsar, November 15 was fixed as the date of mutiny. Dr. Mathra Singh, Kartar Singh Sarabha, Pandit Kanchi Ram, Bhai Nadan Singh Chuga, and Bhai Gujar Singh Bhakna, were appointed with the aim of inciting the troops to join the movement. The Shanghai Jatha, led by Bhai Gujar Singh Bhakna, spread propaganda in the villages of Amritsar and Gurdaspur districts, and succeeded in contacting some soldiers. Kartar Singh Sarabha met a young sergeant of the Lahore garrison on a train to Jalandhar, and convinced him to join the rebellion. The sergeant promised to hand over the keys of the Lahore magazine to him. See Bhai Parmanand. The soldiers of the 23rd Cavalry at Lahore were contacted and won over by Bhai Prem Singh Sir Singh, and they promised to march out and join the armed rebellion at the appointed hour. As a token of their assurance, they sent a sword to the leaders of the movement. Lahore had the biggest arsenal in northern India, that supplied weapons and munitions to other cantonments. Bhai Gujar Singh Bhakna and his group were to attack this magazine, and overpower British troops on the date of rebellion. Bhai Nadan Singh Chuga contacted an infantry of Pathan soldiers at Ferozpur, who agreed to hand over their weapons to the revolutionaries. The date for the general uprising was fixed for November 15, 1914, later changed to November 26, 1914, when the revolutionaries learnt that the sergeant of the 23rd Cavalry, who had promised to help, was transferred. They waited expectantly outside the Lahore garrison on the 15th, but there was no response from the sergeant. See Bhai Ajmer Singh, who were the Ghadari Babas. See also Bhai Parmanand Lahore. On November 17, a large congregation of Ghadarites assembled in Taran Taran, on the occasion of Massia. Bhai Gujar Singh Bhakna was arrested by police on his way to the meeting. The next most important meeting took place at Jar Sahib Gurdwara in Amritsar district, on November 20. The decision to attack the Lahore magazine on November 26 was made at Jar Sahib Gurdwara, a Gurdwara built in memory of Guru Arjan Ji. After attacking the magazine, Sikh soldiers were to assemble at this Gurdwara with the seized weapons, and then march on to Saraili, Patti, Taran Taran, and Lahore. Bhai Bhorg Singh was the granthee at this Gurdwara. He had promised to dedicate his body, mind, and soul to the cause, at the call of the Ghadarites. He had already received news of the shooting at Bhuj Bhuj, in which Sucha Singh Granthee, of neighbouring village Sur Singh, was shot in the leg. Bhuj Bhuj was the incident at Calcutta, in which passengers of the Kamagata Maru were fired upon by police. Akhand parts were performed for the departed souls, who fell martyrs at Bhuj Bhuj. Raising his sword before a picture of Guru Gobind Singh, Bhai Bhorg Singh sang out loud the Sikh anthem. De Siva, Var Mohe. From Dasam Granth. Addressing the Sikh Sangat, he urged everyone to raise the sword of revolt. He said, Singhs, you have taken baptism of Guru Gobind Singh's double-edged sword. You should grasp the sword in your hand for the country's sake. Then one day, police entered the Gurdwara to arrest Bhai Bhorg Singh. Avtar Singh Tufan describes the scene as follows. The police officers tied their horses to trees, and shouted, Where is Mahant Bhorg Singh? We would also like to see the man, who has been so audacious as to challenge the government. Bhai Bhorg Singh appeared before them, and said in a humble voice, You are at the home of Guru Arjan Ji. Anyone is welcome to come here. Let me serve you langar first. The police officers said, You are accused of conspiring against the government, and planning a raid on a police station for firearms. You will be taken to Taran Taran police station for questioning. Sat Bachhan, I'm ready to comply, replied Bhai Bhorg Singh. Before leaving, he instructed Sikh devotees to look after the Gurdwara, to continue reciting 5 prayers, and to support anyone who comes to the Gurdwara. Amid shouts of Bole So Nihal, Bhai Bhorg Singh appeared serene, as he was led by police to Taran Taran. On the way, he bowed before Sri Munara Sahib, at village Dalla. Shortly afterwards, he was handcuffed and taken to the police station. He arrived at the police station chanting, Dan Dan, Satguru Arjan Dev Ji. The chief inspector told him to take a seat. Bhai Sahib sat down. The inspector began by saying, Sant Ji, I've heard so much praise about you. You are a religious person. Why are you getting involved in temporal affairs? If you answer every question truthfully, you will be pardoned by the British government. In return, you will be rewarded land and property for your dera. Moreover, we can find you a wealthy match for marriage. You will be married to a beautiful girl if you cooperate with the government. Otherwise, you will suffer the hell of Kalapani, Andaman prison. The inspector had hardly finished speaking, when Bhai Bhorg Singh interrupted him with the words, Sinners! You are betraying your people and country. You can try to tempt me with as many bribes as you like, but I won't tell you anything about the patriots. You can skin me alive, or send me to the Andamans, but I won't say a word. He was beaten with batons, and then kept awake all night. And then, for the next 2 days, a heavy stone mill was placed on his chest, and officers sat on it to suffocate him, but he revealed nothing to them. In this hopeless state, he recited Sukhmani Sahib, and memories of Bhai Mani Singh and Bhai Tara Singh passed through his consciousness. Reference: The Centre of Ghadar Activities, Jar Sahib, Punjabi edition, by Charanji Lal Kanganiwal, 2012. The end.